Okay, let's do 3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? It's me again, Gamer Lush. It's been a long time since I released a video. I really need to get on my ass and start making more of these videos. I just E3 last week and wanted to, catch up on all the news, make sure everything was validated, seeing how the whole crazy DRM thing with the Xbox and that just got updated saying that there's no DRM on it because of the outcries and all that good stuff. Well, bad stuff. Considering what your opinion on it was. So, and then I got a beta invite for the third phase of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Now, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, but my love for the series has dropped in the recent years because of the recent releases of Final Fantasy. So, to get my fix, I've been going back to the older games, and when I bought the first version of 14, I was just utterly disappointed. It wasn't finished. It just didn't. It felt like rushed. There's a lot of bad reviews out there. It has very minimal good points about it. Excuse me. But it did not weigh the bad. It's just that seeing how I played Final Fantasy XI for I don't know how many years, and I was looking forward to this one because I dropped out from it. And yes, I joined the 600-pound gorilla in the room that was WoW, because it just made gameplay easier. But as years went on, WoW basically made it to where it was just too easy. Jump in, get some loot, play for about 15 minutes or so, and be rewarded for so. Where Final Fantasy XI was just brutally grueling. Seeing how it was one of my first MMOs I ever played, it was probably the bad start to go in because I don't know what was it about. It just made me feel, it just felt more rewarding getting the gear that you worked really hard for. You had to plunk hours and hours and hours to get into it. And you can do a lot of stuff by yourself. Unlike WoW, where you can basically do almost everything by yourself. Get a 5-man, click a button, it throws you in a group. Please get along, good together. Okay, jump back. Screw you guys, I don't ever want to see you guys again. And with looking for raids, doing the same thing. Jump in a group with 24 other players. Do your thing. You suck. It's alright. Everything's so easy. I didn't get any gear. I get some spear. Alright, I'll see you losers later. No social interaction whatsoever. I just kind of think it was really lost in that one. And yeah, it's like, oh no, play with guilds and what have you, and play with friends, and like, yeah, that's great and everything, but in Final Fantasy XI, I've made way more friends and associates, way more than I had in WoW. Even I think I played about 2 more years more WoW than I had for Final Fantasy, but I had way better memories with Final Fantasy XI, even though it was so grueling hard. It was so gruelingly hard. Well, there you go. Before I start continuing. Alright, so I got into the beta. I basically had I had a problem with my account. I didn't get to disable my character from 11, the first Final Fantasy XIV to Realm Reborn. I got to around level 25, around 14, before I just basically gave up. I'm like, ugh, okay, there's only so much I can take of this. So I jumped in and thinking, well, they could change probably some a little bit of things, but no, they overhauled the whole damn game. And I know a lot of people know for a fact that they've been playing since Phase 1 and 2. It's like, wow, they changed this game, blah, blah, blah. But there's like, as I looked at it, there wasn't a lot of information that I thought convinced me enough to where they said the game was changed, but I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. Sure enough, I played it, and this is just a beta, Phase 3, so this is not even the final product. So I'm pretty sure they've been working and just combing out all the stuff. It's like, look, we need this to work, or we are sunk. So they went away from a lot of things. It was totally different from WoW, but the first iteration. But now they put it where it plays more like WoW. It's a good and a bad thing, but I'll explain later on. I'll be making about 3 or 2 videos of this about my impressions of it. I played through the first weekend, and this is the second weekend. It just came out, and I got a more in-depth feel of the game. Right now I'm going to be talking about class and character creation. I don't have any pictures of character creation. Stupid me, I forgot to make pictures. But I will definitely I'll skim over the classes and kind of give about a mechanic view over it. And then I'll talk about the gameplay and the UI, how they totally revamped that. And then I'll talk about story and party mechanics in other iterations. So let's go ahead and get on our way. It's like, I guess people say, you play a human character, you're a boring individual. I like playing a human. I am a human, and I like projecting my human self onto the realm of MMOs, even though I play girl characters. But you know what? I don't care. You guys can suck it. I'm going around, just immersing myself in the world, because this game is very immersive. Sound quality, graphics wise, and being able to customize your character is just, and it's not as in depth as, let's say, Aeon. That one that's made you had a Pinocchio nose. You can have gangly 5 feet arms and you have stumpy legs. I really didn't like that, but the way you could create your character and the creativity of what people can just how them make themselves look was just over the top. That one, Aeon was just, in my opinion, there are probably more. I'm pretty sure you guys have played other ones that had better character creativity, but you know, I pretty much set my standards like Aeon is basically the highest creativity you can have in it, and to whereas, let's say, what was the really one that only gave you like Final Fantasy 11 actually only was very limited in character creation. They gave you about 9 heads and 2 options, and you couldn't even change the color of the hair or anything like that. That was minimalistic. That was the first one I ever played, but they just pumped it up in this one just crazily. So you only got a couple of head options, couple of hair options. As you can see here, I made this female Hirun. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hirun. They're basically the humans of the game. And I basically had her have black hair with red streaks. I've always wanted that for a character for the longest. And I've seen some crazy hair combinations out there. I saw a Makote male with blue hair with orange streaks, and it kind of made him look like a tiger. It was crazy, but they're small, significant little tidbits you can do to your character, but it makes them look way different from any other character you see out there. Yeah, they have you can see some of your clones, but hairstyle wise and size, but as you look real close in these characters, as you can see my character, if you can see here, her eyes, one is red and one is black. You can have 2 different colored eyes. That's so awesome. I don't think I've seen any MMO that's ever done that. And in the first one, the first iteration of 14, you could only do that with, I think, Lalafeld's, the little guys. If you played 11, it was Tarus, and Makote's, which were the Mithra in 11. They renamed all the races and all that stuff like that. And I'll keep going, and I have an eye patch here I thought was kind of cool. This is when I was going as a pugilist. I'll go into classes here in a second. And this is a slideshow, and this is not breaking in NDA that I'm under, so you can show screenshots, but you just can't record footage or music in the background. I'll probably play some old Final Fantasy tracks here in the background while I'm listening, so it's not dead silence, right? Listen, mumble on here about the game. So, just going on, I was in at least the character creator for at least a good 2 hours before I even started playing the damn thing, because it was ridiculous how many different types of characters you can make, and you can control their size, how their muscles look. Like, you can have them look chiseled and buffed and shit, and like, yeah, I'm fucking rip some shit up. Or you can have, like, look, skinny, like, like, you can't make a fat person, unfortunately. I guess for people who want to be comical about it, it's like, I just want a fat adventurer. Why can't I do that? And it's like, unfortunately, you can't do that. I guess that's some limitations to it somewhat. This Makote I made, she has a pink and blue, sky blue eyes with pink eyeshadow and pink hair. Yes, I know I got this obsession making women characters. You know what? I don't care. I'm going to look at this thing for hours on end. So I want it to at least look presentable, like how I want it to look. So screw you all and that's your opinion. Whatever. And I just had to go through all of these and just get a feel for how the game was. And it's like, because unlike this one, you can make one character, and I think they'll charge you a certain amount, about $13.99 or so, or $14.99. But if you want to make another character separate from that, they'll charge you an additional $1. I'm not sure if they're... Don't quote me on this, because that's how it was back in 11, the first 14, and the game designer, I believe, he just had a vlog here saying that we'll be sticking with the subscription-based. And I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not, seeing a lot more people are now used to MMOs or free-to-play. But hopefully the fan base are this, because I really don't think they're trying to beat WoW in a sense. They're just going for a niche at this point. And hopefully this will be a niche enough to where it'll drive those hardcore characters in, or people in. It's like, look, we don't care. It's like, if we're just so casual, we don't want to grab as many people as possible. Of course, every MMO wants to grab as many subscribers as they possibly can, but they basically have to face it. No one's going to beat WoW. It's pretty much the 600-pound gorilla is going to stomp all over your shit, and everyone's going to compare your game to. And you know what? Stop aiming for it, and just grab the people that you know will come back. Good Final Fantasy fan. Get those hardcore gamers in there, but you know, it's not so hardcore that they're actually making everything very simple-wise. So I'll go back to that in maybe my UI video and gameplay-wise. So let's get back to it. I got sidetracked there. I apologize. And let's go to the classes. I have a picture here in my Kote, and this is just one of the details that this Chocobo and this Chocobo handler just looks at me. He's like, what the hell are you... Can I help you, miss? It's just the head tracking in this is so awesome, too. Anyway, I got sidetracked off again. This Makote was my second character I created just because after making my human, I was like, okay, let's start playing. No! I want to make a Makote, see how it looked. And how I could change it on. Basically, I got exactly what I wanted. Anyway, I made her an archer. Now, you have it breaking up into, I believe, 7 different career classes. I forgot what they call them here, because they're not job classes, because the advanced classes are called jobs. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 job classes. And I picked the archer here for her, and archers are basically straight damage. That's like, we have a shot that poisons damage, we have a shot that blinds, we have a shot debuffing and damage from afar. Now, if that strikes your fancy, which it does me, but I'm more of a spell. I like to sling spells instead of arrows. This is the one for you. Its advanced job class is a bard, and that kind of you have a straight damage dealer that debuffs, and then when you become a bard, it's a party buffer. So like a support class, but skill can just dish out the beast of damage. And each one of these, you know, I have the list here, and like, I'm going to put a site. I'm going to put in the annotations below. I'm going to put a great site that basically shows you all the skills that are updated to this phase 3 now, so you guys can have a look and gauge like what kind of class do I want to make when this is released. And I'm looking forward to it. Well, me right now, I'm pretty much sold. The game pretty much sold me at this point, and they redeemed themselves from that last iteration of Final Fantasy 14. So this is basically what Archer is all about. And not also do you get these actions, but you also get traits, secondary traits that basically are like passive. Now, I know it's not like, oh, it seems so boring, there's no talent trees I can spec in, blah blah blah, but it's like, it kind of basically like, look, it's pretty simple, streamlined. You don't have to worry about you have to worry about how you execute your moves so far, blah blah, and stuff like that. But on the second chance, you can also customize your class with other class skills. So some of these attacks and shots and buffs that you can add to your character, you can also trade them to another character class you might be playing. Okay, that's just okay. What the hell are you talking about? That was confusing. The character you make can switch their job class at any time, anywhere, anytime they want, except for during in battle. This means I can level this archer up to 15. I know I'm tired of being archer. That doesn't mean that means I don't have to log out and log back in with another character. I can stick on this person. I have a bow and arrow. This makes me an archer. I now want to be in Conjurer. Okay, go into your inventory, switch it out. I'm a Conjurer now. Cool. It just switches you automatically. No cast times like that. Very awesome. Lastly, within like Final Fantasy 11, you have to go back to your house, your Mog house, and change it out that way. You do get a Mog house in it. Well, it's not a Mog house. It's more like an inn room. But you can still customize it. I haven't gotten to that far into the game to give it a customization. Moving on, I've only played about 4 to 5 different job classes in the game so far, because you're only limited about 2 days in the weekend, where most beta at least give you from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This one only gives you to Friday and Saturday. Kind of a bummer. Makes you kind of hurry up a little. Now, for a switch up, I went ahead and started playing my first character, my human, which was a Thaumaturge. Thaumaturge is basically like your mage, your warlock, your fire pyromancer, ice, I don't know, hydromancer, whatever. The wizard that throws fireballs and hurts the guy on the other end of your staff or wand. Anyway, he has a cool little mechanic. You know, everyone has a certain kind of mechanic to that class. So like the archer has to constantly make sure it's, you know, it's debuffs and stuff like that by switching arrows, firing shots, and what have you. Towards the Thaumaturge, the Thaumaturge has to manage his mana, but also knowing when to just let loose on it without having to just burn all their mana. Like, I guess the best way to call it would be a arcane mage, but it's not as boring. Because the first skill is being Blizzard. It puts a buff on you, basically has your mana regeneration just go through the roof. If you cast a Blizzard, it'll put astral ice on you, thus having your mana regen, like every tick you get like a fourth of your mana back. It's just crazy amazing how it does that. But your fire spells cast about 40% less damage, so you gotta watch that and make sure you kind of plan. It's like if something big's gonna blow up or something like that, you can't be casting. You gotta run out of the way, and so you can use that time to have astral ice on you to regen that mana back while you're running out of the way or something like that. Really, you know, I could see the implications of it, and it sounds really cool. Now, when you cast a fireball, it'll put astral fire on it. This will basically halt all mana regeneration altogether. So when you're casting fire, you're not gonna get any mana back whatsoever. So that means you're gonna drain your mana pool like after at least 5 to 6 casts of fire. But with astral fire on, it increases the amount of damage for fire spells. So let's say my fireball is hitting for 60. After that, my first initial cast, it'll hit for 80. And there's the traits in here. I'll show you the traits here. You'll see the increased ethereal damage. You can actually stack the buff. So my first fireball will be 60. My second fireball will be 80. And after that, my third fireball will be 100. Then after that, will be 120. So you're gradually doing damage, bombing. But your mana's gone. Now, a really cool thing in here, they have a skill called Transpose. Now, this will basically take the fire astral and switch it over to ice, but it'll make you start over from stack 1, which is cool. So let's say I start casting fire. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'm really low on mana. Transpose back to astral ice. That means I can keep casting ice spells, still doing damage, but my mana will gain back. Casting Blizzard over and over, you'll never run out of mana. Now, they will probably change this. They could change this. It's still beta. It's still got another, I think, 4th phase before they actually go into the release and stuff like that. To whereas archers are just going straight damage. Thaumaturge has crowd control sleep, which can be cast on anything and can be cast on as many targets as you want, which seems like a little overpowered. And there will be a PvP mechanic on it, but I'm pretty sure they'll try to balance that out, hopefully. Because, in that other case, I'm going to be having too much fun. Basically, putting everyone to sleep and then just nuking the only guys. that's awake. I'm pretty sure there's like ways to get out of that. Okay, because crowd control breakers and whatever. And then as you go on, you like me personally. When I played Final Fantasy XI, my #1 class was Red Mage. I am so sad that they did not have Red Mage in this game, and they shared a lot of the Red Mage skills with the White Mage and the Black Mage, which basically tells me like we're probably not gonna be putting Red Mage in here, which saddens me to no other end. Unless they make it give it like they find a new mechanic to find to give a Red Mage, which would be really cool. That's basically the rundown of the Thaumaturge. Okay, I'm going a little over time than I want to because I'm rambling. And so I love mage classes completely, and then I love healing as well. Even it's like a thankless job, but when you get it right, people like to think a lot. It's bare bones minimum. Heal, heal, heal. Put protect on the guys. Take out the poison. Buff the party. Reduce as much damage you possibly can. But with this one, they switched it out. They took out from the Conjurer. They took out a lot of the ice, fire, and thunder spells and gave it the Thaumaturge and totally basically making it into what they think the class was supposed to be. Conjurer is a white mage. It shouldn't have fire, black, ice, and what have you. But they gave it other spells, stones, because you know the game will let you soil. Oh goodness, let you soil yourself. Yeah, because you get the shit scared out of you. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, with these you can quest by yourself and defend yourself, but of course you're not going to be hitting as hard as a black mage. They thought of that. They gave you cleric stance. Basically switches your mind and intelligence. Mind is for healing for white mages, and intelligence is for black mages. They basically let you switch those out, but it gives you a debuff to your healing, which lets you heal 20% less, and I think your attacks go up by 40%. Awesome, a great solo mechanic. Good thinking on your part, because a lot of people are going to want to play Conjurer, but we gotta do a lot. There's story quests in there that you gotta do by yourself. So it's like, it's not like we're gonna heal the monster to death unless they craft it say, oh, this is a Conjurer. Keep yourself alive for 5 minutes and then you win the class. That was hilarious. I found that, like, because I remember in Final Fantasy XI, I think that was the quest you had to do against Matt to ascend from 70 to 75. It's hilarious, and people are like, that sounds stupid, but it's unique and genius, but it's like, that's what your job is. Do your job for this quest, and then you can prove that you can go further in your job. Sounds simple to me. Yeah, I know it sounds dumb and boring, but whatever. So, you know, they can revive party members and stuff like that, and not everyone. I noticed that a lot of MMOs now are basically just giving revive to everyone, and it's like, so it kind of makes it to where being a healer just feels less important sometimes. But yeah, it does give that value of life kind of thing, and in the long scale of it. But in this one, no, only the white mage can resurrect people. But if you level the white mage enough to raise is a interchangeable skill. This is what I was talking about earlier. So let's say I level up my Thaumaturge up to a certain level and I get Thunder. Now I want to start leveling up my white mage. I can use that Thunder skill from level 1 of the Conjurer, so switching it out and within my talent skill bar. So it's really cool. I can use a level 8 spell right out the back from my level 1 Conjurer. Awesome. I'm like, alright, that makes it a little easier to do that. And let's say I level up my Conjurer up to level 2 where it gets Cure Spell. Now I can go back to my Thaumaturge and get a lot more easier, so now I can heal myself again over and over. And I've seen with a lot of interchangeable skills, so Conjurer's going to have like this skills you really want so you can solo, so you can just keep casting Cure on yourself and using all your badass hitting spells. Because Cure can actually be used by almost every class, which makes questing a little easier and stuff like that, which I found is just fantastic. You can basically take awesome skills, not every skill, mind you, but you can take a lot of good skills and just like put them with the class that you're using now at that point in time, which is just freaking awesome, I think. Now, of course, she's going to graduate into a white mage from what you would usually think of a white mage. And moving on, this is probably going to take a lot longer than I thought it was. Sorry guys, I got a lightning strike around here. Anyway, I'm going to end it here actually because I've gone longer than I wanted to. But I'll make another video basically wrapping this up and going over 3 more job classes that I played the Pugilist, the Gladiator, which is basically the tank. Pugilist is like more strike, get in there and do constant damage. And the Marauder, who basically takes in the big strikes but can dish the damage but can take a lot of it because it's kind of like a pseudo tank, two-handed warrior. But guys, I'm going to try to be, I know I said this before, but I'm going to try my hardest to keep releasing videos, and I'm thank you for sticking around with me. And I'll see you guys later. If you like what you see, I'll put out some more information out there for Final Fantasy. Trying not to break the NDA. And you know, if you like what you see, please join me again, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys again. And as always, cheers and game on. Ran away from me because he was scared. Oh no, I'm just here to get your poop, little guy. The fuck? Yeah, mommy, there's a stranger collecting my poop. Don't look at him, Don't look at him, darling. I never saw that before. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. Look, it's a little baby beefalo. Oh yes. Damn this game. Damn this game. Now I don't want to kill the beefalo because they have a baby.